And it's all in the power in the hands of the Lord for these things to occur, because it's about everything's about the height. You're not going into 2026 where, majority, the world, with these New Year resolutions and looking for a bright future and things of that nature. Nah, it's about to get dark out here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and what the Lord is doing is He's stirring Jacob up. Let me read this real quick. Genesis 49:9. Judah is the lion's whelp from the prey, my son. Thou art gone up. Who's the prey? The Esau. The Esau, right? Judah is the so-called Negroes. From the prey thou art gone up, because they pretty much lost interest in the prey. They've been so beat down and fighting for crumbs that they forgot the bigger picture.
Right.
It says he stooped down, he couched at the lion, and as the old lion, right? An old lion is lazy. He don't want to do nothing. He want people to bring him the food,
Yeah.
He don't want to go out hunting.
The EBT, Section 8.
Yep.
Just full dependency on the government.
Yeah.
So to the point where if you have that mind frame, there's no way to look at that system as your enemy.
Right. That's right. It says, who shall rouse him up? So the Lord is going to rouse him up. But what's the Lord going to do to rouse him up? He's going to cause this constant oppression and constant, hard times and constant, state of desperation to settle in to the point where Jake just snaps.
Right.
Like in the case of back in 1992 with the Rodney King verdict.
Right.
Jake just snapped. Back in 1969, the Watts riot. Jake snapped. So it's going to be something, far worse than that.
Yeah.
So we're just waiting to see what sets everything off.
Right. Yeah, because the whole thing with the ICE.
This is how I made $50 in just a couple of hours.
We've got reports of 2 West Virginia National Guard members that have pretty much been assassinated at this point, killed in D.C. The location, not far from the White House. You can see right there the arrow and the image. And the suspect is believed to be alive right now and in custody, wounded. And as Trump says, going to pay a heavy price. The shooting taking place kind of out of nowhere, where this individual walked up on these troops working or standing at this corner, and he shot both of them at point blank range. This is what they called a critical incident, and now confirming that both of those soldiers have died. So RIP to those soldiers, and we'll see how they're going to label this whole thing and what's going to happen to this individual. But I just wanted to put it out there and let it be known that this has gone down. 2 National Guardsmen from West Virginia called up to work this D.C. area, getting just assassinated at point blank range. Critically wounded at first, but now confirmed both dead. The White House, they say, was also on lockdown. They say there's an estimated 2,375 National Guard troops positioned across Washington, across D.C., where they've been deployed since August. So that's more than usual, definitely more than 500. And this unfortunately looks to be something that's going to feed into chaos and potential civil war. Going further down this route. Join me for the live stream tonight where I'm going over this in greater detail. I'll leave links below.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. Verse 33. And when this come to pass, lo, it will come to pass, then shall they know it had been a prophet among them. And I found it very spiritual, very beautiful, in the fact of, the Apostle Ramla just did a video 2-3 hours ago, going into something called the Quick Reaction Force, of which Trump is planning to push, the National Guard throughout the states to quell the violence. If it so happens on a major scale. And now, come to find out, there was an assassination of 2 National Guards. And mind you, this happened, like I said, all of this from the Apostle Ramlah's lesson to this news coming out, this happened within the time of 2 or 3 hours. All right? And, hey, it's obvious who the Lord is dealing with. And if you can't see it, you want to continue to scoff. Well, as the scriptures also say, the same shall know it after death by pain. All right? It's about to get real. It's about to get real heavy out here. So I looked it up from what the apostle had brought out. The National Guard is building a quick reaction force of some 23,500 troops trained in crowd control and civil disturbance that can be ready to deploy to U.S. cities by early next year, according to a leaked memo reported by multiple outlets Wednesday. The October 8th memo, signed by National Guard Bureau Director of Operations, Major General Ronald Burkett, orders the Guard from nearly every U.S. state, Puerto Rico, and Guam to train 500 service members. States with smaller populations such as Delaware will have 250 troops in its force, while Alaska will have 350 and Guam will have 100. A previous Pentagon memo issued in September and revealed by The Guardian had mandated that the Washington, D.C. National Guard create a specialized military force battalion within it dedicated to ensuring safety and public order in the nation's capital as the circumstances may necessitate. So these devils, they plan that this earth and things are about to get very violent. Right? Now, it's funny how, you got a guy who assassinated 2 National Guard members and you want to take him in for questioning instead of offing him. Now it's going to come to find out who this guy really is, which 9 times out of 10 they're going to say he was associated with some type of Islamic terror group. That's just my prediction, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. We know that this devil wants to come down on the Israelites. We know that he wants to paint a picture, as it is written, how he is the accuser of our brethren. And we go into the word accuser, it goes into the word categoreo. He wants to categorize us in a bad light. And it stands to reason that even today, those that are characterized in a bad light are those ISIS, are the cartel, right? So the latest document also stipulates that the Pentagon will send military trainers to the states and territories, so the QRFs will be operational by January 1st, 2026. Each state also will be given 100 sets of crowd control equipment to be used to support this equipment, such as tasers, pepper spray, batons, and battle shields. The Pentagon did not respond to a request for comment from the Hill. All right. So that troop is coming in. Right? 2nd Ezra 15:4. Same scriptures. We live in the same times that the scriptures talk about. Right? in these last days. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, 2 Ezra 15:5, by the way, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right? And things have started off in the four corners of the earth. Just didn't really hit America yet. Well, as you see, these so-called peaceful protests always end up turning violent. Like, what was it, a few years back? What was it, France and Greece? You know, they were participating in violent protests, which started off peaceful, by the way. Ended up violent, of course. And it's been going on for some years. Now, you know, it's been so much going on that I haven't been following it. But, hey, the scriptures don't lie. Right? Violent protests are prophesied to be throughout the earth. Yahushua spoke of it in Matthew, the 24th chapter. Okay? And again, you know, I always highlight the Matthew 24, and specifically verse, I want to say it's verse 6, but we could read it. Actually, specifically verse 9. Whereas we see wars, right? We see the deception of many false prophets, right? Verse 5, verse 6, we see wars, rumors of wars. Verse 7, we see nations against nation, pestilences and earthquakes in different places. We see that. All right? And it's growing. It's growing on a massive, on a stronger, bigger scale. All right? All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. So something's got to happen for this prophecy to happen, for this prophecy to come to pass. Right? Whereas, don't be surprised if there's another, you know, assassination. And again, this is just a prediction. We have to wait and see. But we know there must be a reason that this devil gives the world for him to come down having great wrath, as it tells us in Revelation 12:12. All right, and even Dabu, he pointed it out. Let's see, you know, what type of violent reaction Trump, you know, being known as a hothead, let's see what type of violent reaction he will bring forth. Whereas he claims, you know, these so-called right, it says, right, the Trump administration has increasingly moved to use the U.S. military to push his political agenda domestically via sending National Guard troops into largely Democrat-run cities under the claim of helping fight crime. President Trump, in an August 25th executive order, mobilized the D.C. National Guard to the nation's capital over the objection of city leaders. Trump at the time claimed the city's crime was out of control, despite data showing that rates had dropped over the past 2 years. Right? So his agenda is total lockdown. That's pretty much his agenda. All right? And if he's doing that when it truly isn't, as the states, you know, claim it isn't that bad, how much more when things are really bad? Right? And they're more than 2 months in the city, Guard members have largely been helping with beautification efforts, such as picking up trash and laying mulch. Trump has also activated the National Guard, Los Angeles, to quell largely peaceful protests over U.S. immigration and customs enforcements. Like the elder brother Pashah said, you know, what happens when a brick is being thrown? You know, is no longer considered peaceful, in which case the National Guard have the right to shoot on sight. I can't remember what exact state it was, but it was one of the states Trump was telling the National Guards, like, they have a complete immunity, you know, to pretty much shoot first and ask questions later. right? And we know time and time again that these peaceful protests always have agent provocateurs in the midst of it to turn shit up. Hey, they show you that in the movie The Purge. You know? In the movie The Purge election year, the people wasn't purging good enough, right? And these movies tell a lot, because in that movie, the people wasn't purging enough, which it came to find out that they pretty much wanted to lower the population, right? So what they did is they sent contractors, all right, in the midst of purge season, you know, to pretty much influence the situation in their favor. Okay. It says and has attempted to send them to Portland or in Chicago. And we got to remember, it is double just signed what the Genesis mission, giving AI more creating or pushing for the fast building of the AI infrastructure. The AI infrastructure is pretty much only needed for a place that's full of fraud, that's full of crime, right? So again, we're coming into some violent times that begets violent measures, and that ultimately, in his eyes, begets this new digital system. All right. And that's how he works: problem, reaction, solution. So yeah, I ended off there. That's just something I found interesting in the spirit. You know, as the Apostle Ramla, again, as I mentioned. Nah, I don't got nothing. You know, as the Apostle Ramla was going in, him and the elder brother, Pashai, literally, you know, a few hours later, rather. Okay. It came to find out that, I don't know if brothers could see it. Let me turn. 2 National Guard members dead after shooting near White House, West Virginia governor. All right, so let the games begin. They stay prayed up. Shalom to the elect.